What a lovely day to be working on cars outside, wouldn't you say? This will be my first time doing any kind of work like this. Let's bring out the parts and see what it is that we're doing. I will be sanding and prepping my front bumper for paint, and let me show you why. So as you can see up here, it's super oxidized, and there's just kind of like a lot of damage to the bumper. The paint's all scratched up. So today I will be sanding this down, prepping it for paint. I have the paint already as well as the clear coat. First thing I have to do is remove this plastic piece, this grill, the emblem, and the fog lights before we can do any prep work. Now we've got to wash the whole panel, get it free of any contaminants. There's a lot of dirt, a lot of grime, a lot of, I don't even know what. I'm also gonna try and get rid of this stuff before I start. I'm also debating on whether I'm actually gonna repaint the entire panel, or maybe if I'm just going to buff it, because the clear coat fade really isn't too bad on this panel. Not as bad as it is on the bumper, but I wanna get this all cleaned up and then kind of take it from there.
Would you stop playing with that radio of yours? I'm trying to get to sleep. Some of us have to go to work in the morning.
What are you insinuating, madam?
You stop making that noise.
What noise?
Before I go repainting the whole panel, I am going to try using some polish to see if that doesn't take care of this clear coat fade that's happening here on the top. If it does, that'll save me a lot of time. If not, then I'll have to paint the whole panel. It honestly made this oxidation worse. I don't know how well the camera picks it up, but you can definitely see the cracking here. But right here along the edge, it got rid of the clear coat completely. And yeah, so I'm gonna have to sand this down with some 800 grit. Sanded down, ready for paint. That'll have to wait till tomorrow because, as you can see, it's really wet outside, and if I try and paint, more than likely it's going to get all screwed up. So I'm going to bring this inside, let it dry. Now we have to figure out how to take the rear bumper off, because this one is way worse than the front bumper. I'm just peeling this clear coat off with my hand. It is really bad from about here up. There's no clear coat here, so we'll have to sand this down with about 800 grit, get rid of this ridge line, because if there's any kind of ridge when I go to paint, it'll show. So I got to sand this all down and prep it for paint. I'm debating on whether I even want to pull the bumper off, because I could just, when I go to paint, open the trunk, mask off here. I'll see how hard it is to take it off. If it's relatively simple, like the front bumper, I'll just pop it off. If it's more in depth, I'll just leave it on. With the rear bumper taken off, I'm now going to wash it like I did the front bumper, just with some soap and water. I'll get it set up on these sawhorses, and I'll start sanding it with the 800 grit. The bumper's been completely sanded and prepped so I can paint it tomorrow. I'm currently soaking wet and cold and hungry, so I'm gonna leave it off here, but I'll bring you guys back tomorrow when I'm painting the bumper. It's now the next day. As you can see, it is a much nicer day outside. Although it is very windy, it's going to be a little bit harder to paint with all this wind, but we're still gonna get it done. This wind is gonna make spraying nearly impossible. I already did a test little spot right down there, but we're just going to do light coats, and let's see how this turns out. Now when you're laying paint, you're not looking to cover up the spot immediately. It's going to take a few passes and a few coats here. But yep, as you can see, there's already a hair that has been blown into the paint. So this is going to be a constant battle. Now I'm not spraying the whole bumper, only because A, I only have a small can, and B, the whole bumper doesn't really need it. It's just certain areas where I was sanding that need it the most. Now is this clear coat peeling, or is this sanded down clear coat? This is more peeling. Well, you know, Some spots are just gonna get whatever they can get, honestly. So I'm gonna let this dry, and then I will come back and hit it with a second coat. All right, so it's now dry to the touch, and we can get it with a second coat here.
I haven't heard from you in days, and then you tell me that you miss me. Did you mean it? You said that it has been a long time and you really need to see me. I didn't dream it. I spent a started.
This should be my final coat. As you can see, you can't even really tell where I sanded down. So there's just a few spots that I'm gonna go a little bit heavier on, and that's where it's kind of darker here, around there. But then after this, we're gonna let this dry for about 10-15 minutes, and then I'm gonna hit it with the clear coat.
Because I had to. Somewhere down the line I fucked it up, and now I know it's over. Fucking over. We chased the sunset to the ocean view one cold night in September. Somewhere you know. You drove, I played you all the songs from all the records of what I know would be mine too. The summer air was more than warm out, and you almost came to see me. I wasn't myself. And when you flew back home, you lost your interest in what
I've been shaking it for about 2 minutes. I activated the hardener, and now, as you can see, actually I don't even know if you guys can really see, but there is just a shit ton of dust that has just come back onto this thing just from the 2 minutes I've been shaking the clear coat.
Not for a moment did I ever manage simply to forget you. I fucking tried to. We chased the sunset to the ocean view one cold night in September. Somewhere you know. You drove, I played you all the songs.
It's been roughly 4 minutes. I'm now going to give it a heavier coat. Let's see how this turns out.
Chased the sunset to the ocean view one cold night in September. Somewhere you know. You drove, I played you all the songs from all the records of what I know would remind you.
Has turned out really nice, minus like a little bit of orange peel here and there, but I think with a buff this is gonna look so good. This is gonna look so good. For whatever reason the GoPro is at 45%, but it then turns itself off because it runs out of battery. I then turn it back on, it's still 45%. So all the video footage of me clear coating that, and I'm pretty sure all the footage of me spraying paint on that has been lost. But that's all right. I can show you guys the result. So it's looking so good. I only had enough clear coat to shoot one coat on this. Kind of unfortunate, but I laid a really thick coat and it's turning out amazing. This one over here is turning out really, really nice. There's a little bit of orange peel and there's a shit ton of dirt in the paint. So I'm going to now move this inside just to minimize how much dirt settles on it while it's curing. I'm also going to move that one inside so that way there's almost no dirt on it while it's curing, because as you can see it's a little bit, it's just blowing dirt right on it. So I've made a new appointment to get the vehicle to Mazda. I now have to put the front and rear bumper on. That's what I'm going to be working on now, and I'll bring you guys along with me. Let me know what you think of this like GoPro POV type view for these videos. If you guys like it, I'll definitely do some more. I just think it's easier when I'm doing things like putting a bumper on or sanding or painting where it's like this kind of view rather than a camera set up far away. I'm just going to finish recording with the GoPro since it is what I have in my hands. I've got a lot of stuff that I will be doing to this car in the coming episodes to make it look even better than it does now, and maybe even sound better. But I want to thank you guys for watching. I hope you stuck around to the end, and I hope you learned something and enjoyed this kind of content. I want to do more of this in the future. And I'll catch you guys in the next one.